From rolling beedis to being a hotel help to now being a district judge in Texas. On the program today, we'll be looking at the inspiring story of Surendran Pattel, born in Kerala and now a district judge in Texas. How did he get from Kerala, rolling beedis, poverty, struggling, sometimes literally to make ends meet, then becoming a lawyer, going through several government institutions in India, and now a district judge, a success story in the United States of America. It is truly an inspiring story, and it is one that we thought our audience, our readers, our viewers must get to know more about. So it is my pleasure to introduce on the program today Surendran Pattel, a Texas District Court judge, but with an incredible sort of backstory, as they say. It's good to see you, Mr. Pattel. I know it's late for you where you are, so thank you for making the time. Before we come to how you became a judge, take us back to your years in Kerala, where you grew up, what sort of difficulties and hardships you had to go through. We know that you rolled beedis for a while. We know at one point you worked as help in a hotel called Malabar Palace. Tell us more.
Thank you for having me, first of all. And yes, I am born and brought up in Kerala, the northern part of Kerala, in a village called Balal, which is in Kasaragod district. And the school that I and my friends and neighbors went to is an ordinary government high school with not much infrastructure or enough teachers and all of that, all the disadvantages that ordinary government school has. And we were 6 children for my parents, and we lost the oldest one when I was 13. And then I started working on the side when I was 14, when I was in the 9th grade. And then I helped
At 14. And I think I read that you had to drop out of class 10 also briefly because of the hardship at home.
After the SSLC, I dropped out from, it is not dropped out, I discontinued my education for an year. And I was a full-time laborer. That was a changing phase in my outlook to my future and my life, and I wanted to go back to and continue my education. So I joined the pre-degree, and from there was no look back to my education. Yeah. It was a second phase of my educational history.
But can I stop you there and ask you? You were 14 years old, a child, really a child, and as you said, you had become as a child a full-time laborer. What do you remember of those years when you had to roll beedis to help your family make ends meet? What is the one sort of haunting memory that follows you even today?
Oh, working hard was not haunting me at all, because I did that on, with a happiness and to help my family, my mother, who was a symbol of sacrifice, and she is the most influential person in my life. But what actually haunting me, even today, every day, every moment, is the passing of my sister when I was 13. Yes. It was a shocking incident for my whole family, and I was not able to get out of that pain even today.
Yeah, but it couldn't have been easy as a child to roll beedis, long hours, not paid too much. How much were you paid? Do you remember?
I don't remember. Not much.
What do you remember about those years?
I go to the school, and in the early morning, I go to a small grocery store, and then I help there a little bit, and then I go to the school. After coming back, I started helping my sister rolling beedis, and whenever I get chance, I go to play with my friends and the neighbors. That also included in. When we are talking about all of this, we say the unrestricted freedom, right? I enjoyed the unrestricted freedom 2 times in my life, completely and fully. And one is my educational time, because nowadays we know that on the moment a new child is born, the parents decide which school, which college, what profession, etc., is already decided. But that was not the case in my case. There was absolutely no expectation from my parents because they don't know. They are illiterate. So I enjoyed that freedom, and I was not a good student at all. And most of the time, I didn't even do my homework. But all of that changed during my college days when I was mature and I have a clear outlook about my future. The things were changed.
And the second time you enjoyed complete freedom was?
Oh, that was when I started my practice as a lawyer. After completing during my LLB, I worked in a hotel, and even after completing my graduation, there was a small period of completing the course and enrolling for LLB as an attorney. I worked in another hotel called Calicut Tower. So Malabar Palace and Calicut Tower are the two hotels I worked. But
what did you do? What did you do in the hotel?
In the Malabar Palace during my study as an LLB student, I was a housekeeping boy. You know what housekeeping boys do: make the bed, clean the rooms, and all of that. And I'm not ashamed of doing this because I did that for purpose, with a clear idea of where I
of course all work is sacred. It's just that as a child, I feel for children who have to work, that's a different argument. Yes.
And in Calicut Tower, after my graduation and before I enrolling as a lawyer, I worked as a housekeeping supervisor, and I helped in the front desk and things of that nature. But the second phase for my unrestricted freedom is when I started practicing law. I joined an office in Hosturg, and the name of the senior is Mr. P. Appakutan. After joining 1 year, I was able to handle almost all civil cases there. There was absolutely no restriction on his part to which case I can handle, which cases I can conduct, which file I can take and read. Absolutely nothing. That 10 years of experience was really helped me in practicing before the Supreme Court, take the bar in Texas, and continue my profession successfully here as well. So that unrestricted freedom really helped me to build up my practice and my professional reputation.
Before we come to how you got to the United States of America, tell us a little more about your family. You've of course spoken about losing your sister. You've spoken about coming from a family that had to struggle to make ends meet. What did tell us a little bit about your family background? You were born in Kasaragod. You grew up in Kerala. What did your family do?
My parents were daily laborers, and we were six. The first two were girls, and then my older brother, me, and I have a younger sister and younger brother. And my second oldest sister, she lost her husband when her children were 3 and 4, a boy and a girl. And the boy is, he also has some struggling period during the high school. And I invited them to my house, and they started living with me, and I raised them as my children. And the boy is now a successful lawyer in the High Court of Kerala, and the girl is teaching in a college there. And my brothers and other brothers and sisters, they are all got married and their own. Not much successful.
And when as children, when you watched your parents struggle, I'm sure you wished for a better life for them.
Yes, absolutely. And I am helping my family since I was a child. But when I started my practice, I was able to help them much more, and I'm still continuing to do that.
Now, tell us the role of your wife, who was a nurse. Is she still a nurse?
She still is a nurse, and she is the reason why I'm here. Yes. I was forced to follow her to Delhi because after a few months of marriage in 2004, she got a placement in Escorts Hospital, Delhi. So she went there, and I continue practicing in Kanjangad, and I started visiting her once in a while. So she became pregnant, but that pregnancy became complicated. So I had no other choice but to leave all my practice behind and go there and take care of her as a family. Then I got an opportunity to practice before the Supreme Court of India. So that she was the reason even though I left behind a successful practice, I was able to continue my practice in Supreme Court. Then she got a placement in Texas as a nurse in a medical center. So I had to follow her. So our original idea is to settle here, get the green card, and she stay here, and I go back and forth and continue my practice. But on the moment we arrived here, we realized that is not practical. It is not going to happen.
So, which is the year in the 1990s you come to the US? When do you move to the US?
2007.
Oh, that recently. Oh, I see.
I started my law practice in India in 1996, and I moved to Delhi in 2004, and we moved to United States in 2007, end of 2007, and
And here you are today as a district judge. Now tell us how that happened.
Yeah, in 2000, when we arrived here, I have no idea. I thought that I'm losing my profession. I didn't want to. So the emotional frustration and stress were there. I undergone all those issues. And I started working in a grocery store called Kroger. But while doing that, I researched a little bit, and I find that in Texas, there is a provision that allows common law practicing attorneys to take the bar directly, provided you should pass the bar exam within 2 years of your arrival. So I immediately jumped in and I studied by myself, and I was able to pass in the first attempt.
And you continued to work in the grocery store while you were preparing for the bar?
I worked only a very few months in the grocery store when I saw this, and I had to babysit for my kids because my wife was working in night shift. So I couldn't even go for the review courses. I bought the study materials and I prepared and I passed. So then I applied for hundreds of law firms. Nobody even wants to give me an interview. So I decided I got this far, so let me do my own practice. But I also thought that it would be a good idea to have some US education. So I went back to the school for doing my master's in international law, and I did my master's in international law, and I published a paper on crimes of aggression. And then I continued my practice, and I got the citizenship in 2017. We were not sure if we want to stay here or going back to India. So in 2016, we decided to stay and applied, and next year we got the citizenship. So this is another thing we need to recognize, that within 5 years of getting the citizenship, an Indian American becoming a district judge, I don't think that it would happen in any other country other than United States.
So there are two stories here that I see. There is the great American dream, because I think you point that out, that within 5 years of becoming a citizen, as an Indian American, you become a judge. But there's also the story of Indian hard work, industriousness, enterprise, right? So both stories are there about both of our cultures and countries.
I agree totally, because there is a very, very intense and a continuous hard work and determination was there behind this. It is not just me. I think that the dedication of the team and the team that supported me did their job for getting me elected. So it is my determination, my hard work, and along with the support of my friends and family, and their a very effective grassroots campaigning.
And did you face or feel any discrimination basis your ethnicity as you were campaigning? I mean, you're in Texas. Texas is a kind of sometimes very polarized politics. In America, politics are quite sharply dividing people, as they are in many other parts of the world, including in our country often. Did you face any discrimination?
There are criticism and campaigns against me negatively, but I always wanted to do positive campaign. That is what I did. There was questions about my accent. There was questions about my nationality, the country of origin, and how long I lived here, etc., etc. But there is another part of it. The Indian American population in this county is less than 10%. The total Asian percentage is 20%, and 35% of the white American, 25% of Black American, and the Hispanics of more than 20%. So it is a most diverse county, and they all accepted me. So there is an acceptance also there. One of my, a good friend who passed away in 2015, he was a seventh generation or so of American, a white American. he and I practiced it together for 5 years. He told me at the time that, Surendran, I want to see you sitting in that bench, and I want to argue to you. So that is kind of an acceptance. He saw that I told him that I have, I'm not feeling comfortable in arguing because of my accent. Then he said, Surendran, you have a certificate and you have a brain. So some people have certificates only and some people have brain only. So you have both. So you can do it. So I go to his cemetery every anniversary. And this time I told him that, Glendon, we did it. And there are, Black Americans who supported me a lot. So even though there are kind of negative and discriminatory aspects is there, I see vast majority of the population here accept the ability, honesty, integrity, and all of that. My result also proves one thing, that it doesn't matter how long you lived in this county or the country. It does matter how you treated the people during the life here, how you serve the community. And while looking into that, I think the people decided that Surendran Patel is a better candidate, and they chose me as their district judge.
Fabulous. In the end, what would be your sort of advice to those who may be struggling like you, who may be sending out 100 job applications and not getting an answer, who may have to be working in hotels or doing side jobs, hustling in grocery stores while they pursue their actual dream? What would be your words of advice in the end to them?
Yeah, before I do that, I'm taking a moment to say this. It is not just my journey. Even though there are a lot of struggles and hardships, hurdles in my journey, I need to recognize and appreciate that my supporters, my friends, my neighbors, my community, my family, in every step of the way, their support was actually a blessing. And I feel lucky to have them, even when then I am struggling. They are a helping hand and they lift me up. So that was there. So it was not just the hardship on one part. And to the advice to the younger generation and the audience that listening to me, I would just like to say that you are the one who's deciding your future. Not just let anybody to decide who you should be. You are the one deciding your future. And once you decide, make a determination to achieve that goal and work hard. Nobody can stop you. But even if you achieve everything that you wanted, please be a good human being. There is absolutely nothing more than that you can achieve. So please be a good human being, serve your community to the best of your ability, then you will be a successful man or woman.
Beautiful. And of course, we must here applaud the team, but in particular, your two women in your life, your mother and your wife.
And I have two daughters.
And two daughters. Fabulous. Fantastic. And of course, as you said, you had to babysit them at a time when you were studying and your wife was working. So it is a modern, progressive family that makes that kind of space for women. And I just want to underline that also about your story, that you stepped back and allowed your wife to pursue her professional dreams and followed her. And I think that is also something that we must encourage more men to do. Thank you, Surendran Patel from Kerala to Texas. What a story. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.